So, uh, so let's start. So, hey everyone,
Yep.
thanks for joining. So today's topic is going to be about Google Summer of Code (GSoC), and we have with us Rahul Halder. He was one of the GSoC 2021 mentees. His organization was Rocket.Chat, right?
Yep. Rocket.Chat.
And he successfully completed both the evaluations. And today he has joined. He's also the tech lead of DSC. Um, So he has joined with us to help you guide, basically guide you to your GSoC journey. And I'm starting the Q&A section. I have some questions. We'll go through them, and then maybe if you have some questions in your mind, put them in the Q&A section. We will go through them at the end. Does that sound okay with
Yep.
you, Rahul?
Yep. We'll just first go through my experience, and then I guess we'll
Yeah,
be going through your questions that you submitted through the form and any other different question that you post in the Q&A. Yep.
absolutely.
So let's go. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's first start with what GSoC is, because not everyone is aware of what this is. So why don't you just give an idea of what GSoC is after all?
Yep. So the first myth that I want to bust out is it has nothing to do with Google. Okay. So Google only comes into picture when paying up the money or bringing in collaborators and organization together to work for them. So GSoC is basically a program which you can say is hosted by Google, where Google pays the mentees and the mentors and the organization, but at the end of the day they are the link between the organization and the mentees, where we do our project and learn from the open source community, right? They are actually promoting this open source world. They are trying to bring more collaborators in the open source world. uh, Now, why open source, you might ask? That I mean, open source in itself is very vast, and like developer, every big company, they use some kind of open source product. The major open source product they use is Linux, right? So every company uses Linux. And how was Linux developed? It was open source, and a lot of contributors from all over the world developed it. And after so many iterations and after so many releases, it has come to a point where Linux is such a great product in the world. It's just because of open source. We wouldn't have been able to achieve this if it was a proprietary product or something like that. Yeah. So in a nutshell, GSoC is just a program which helps newbies, newcomers in the open source field. It helps you know how to react, how to interact in an issue, or how to interact in GitHub pull requests, how to create some of that. Those, all of those things you'll learn when you are participating in GSoC, or even if you are just trying to make the proposal, which we'll be talking about later on. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that kind of gives a good idea about what GSoC is. I just want to add, open source basically means the source code is open for everyone.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
transparent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, how did you came across GSoC, and how has it helped you? Like after how did you come across GSoC, and how did you approach a particular organization? If you can give us a brief idea about that, and then maybe we can step by step move into each aspect of it.
Right. So I think this was in my first year when I asked one of I got to know about GSoC from some of my seniors. So seniors and online, I was thinking that there is something known as GSoC and everything. So I thought that maybe it's a good opportunity. Let's figure it out what it is. So I tried contacting seniors. We have 2 3 seniors who cleared GSoC that year. I mean, it was in 2020, I believe. In 2020, we had many seniors get into GSoC, get into some organizations, and I contacted them. They were talking about their experience, and from there I got to know about GSoC, what it is, like how open source world works and everything. And then from there on, I started just figuring out which organization I might like to work with. And then when I found it, I just I picked out a project that to my liking, and pretty much I created a proposal researching on that project, and then apart from that, just rest is just up to the mentors to on selecting. Yeah.
Got it. So
So
the
that's yeah.
yeah, so the first step is looking for an organization, then
Yep.
finding a project in that organization, and
Yep.
getting acquainted with the community and the project, right?
Yeah,
So
you can also, yeah,
yeah,
just like Arnab said, that getting acquainted with the community, that's a very important part. I mean, if you are not really acquainted in the community, or if you don't have your presence in the community, the mentors wouldn't know you, and they will prefer the people who have been working throughout the year with them, or from before if they have applied to GSoC in their organization that time. So because they know that you can do the job and they don't have any doubt in your skills, capabilities, what you can perform or you can do, right? So that gives a bonus when you interact in a community, be active in the community. That's what is meant, because the mentors don't know you. If they know you, then they will give you a preference because they know that you can do the job. Right. Yeah.
so since we're on this topic, like how would someone who's new join a community like that? Like, or how did you join a community? Like,
So yep, let's
yeah.
talk about like Rocket.Chat, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Rocket.Chat has an IRC channel, or I mean, they have their own open server hosted. I joined the community on that channel, and just kept going through. They had a pretty, what should I say? Uh, mm, what should I say? They had all
Guidelines.
the channels
Oh,
related to
yeah.
GSoC and everything. It was all pretty summed up very nicely on their channel. So it made me easy for it to navigate, for where should I look for people, or whom should I communicate to. It was a little bit easy in the sense you might not get that in every organization, and it might be better in other organization as well. I mean, that depends totally on organization to organization, right? So yeah, so when I went, and then I saw that they had something, a sort of uh, a leaderboard where they were trying, and the people who were contributing to their repositories, they were coming up on the leaderboard. It was showing that they created these many PRs, they created these many issues and everything. So that was some kind of a competition they were already having before GSoC, before the proposal session began, right? So I got to know from there they were assigning, I mean, they were taking up issues and they were doing. So the first thing that you can do is go up to the community, see their chats, what they are working on currently, what projects they are planning to bring up in the GSoC session, and and if you want to work on their issues and everything, try to look for the good first issues, help wanted issues. They will be tagged with those label, and you can ask them to assign that issue to you on their GitHub repository, and then you can ask them for help if you don't understand a little bit. Then you'll just have to communicate over the issue, your explicit doubt. Do your research, of course, do your research. Don't just go ahead and bother them because they are also working full time and doing this open source work, right? So do your research prior, and then go ahead and ask about what you can, if you have any doubt. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you did cover some really good points. So just to summarize, be active in the community, ask questions,
Yeah.
but also at the same time, make sure that you research before asking questions. You don't just ask dumb questions. And
Yeah.
third thing is, if you want to get started on working on some issues and contributing, look for certain tags. Like in GitHub, you can find tags.
Yeah, they are pretty much, they'll be pretty much easy, good first issues, or
Yeah.
newbie help wanted, something like this type of issues.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and you can look out these kind of issues, and pretty much they will help you. All the communities are pretty welcoming, so you won't have that much problem. Apart from their timings, I think You will be welcomed in every community that you go and participate, try to participate. Yeah.
What do you mean apart from timing? I didn't get that.
Timing, I meant to say that, like, if you are thinking that you are right now commenting on an issue at 12 p.m.
Oh,
IST, then you it is not possible. Like they'll be commenting on the next minute or the next hour.
hmm,
It may take some time.
yeah.
So just wait for a few minutes. Just wait for some time. They'll probably give you a reply. So
So
don't
have
worry about
patience.
it.
Yeah,
Have patience. Yeah, have patience. Right.
exactly. So that covers the aspect of the community and how to get acquainted with the community.
Right.
Next is what kind of what do you mean by projects? Like what are these projects? Can you just explain? Like are
Right.
they just full blown
Pro-
application that we have to build, or they're just some kind of what are those?
right. So projects. Now it depends on organization, right?
Yeah.
If the organization wants to make a full-blown project, they will help you make a. I mean, they will have a they actually, let me start from this, that when the organization list comes out, they also give out their project list. So what project they are making, you will be able to get, you will know that this project is for this is a full blown project, a full stack project, or a web, or a command line tool, or anything like that. So you'll be able to figure that out seeing that project. You can't, I mean, unless and until you are very interactive in the community, you won't be able to know what kind of project they are planning to do. I mean, it depends, it totally depends on the organization, what type of project they do. What I did was, you all know Discord. I think you pretty much use Discord. Join our Discord channel, right? GDSC IIST, join the Discord channel. So Discord has voice channels. So I created voice channels on the Rocket.Chat's existing platform. So that's basically a simple PR which is yet to be merged because there it's issues with their release cycle, how they will release that thing. So yeah, I worked on a single PR. That's a totally kind of different project in a way, but yeah. So it depends on organization what kind of project they are going to come up with. It could be a web, it could be anything. Yeah.
The organization projects are everything given in the website, right? In the
Right. Every project you will find it on the website, on their website, not on the GSoC portal. GSoC portal will give you link to their website. You have to search on their website where the idea list is. You can also give your ideas, but I believe that if you are giving out your own ideas, you have to talk with the mentor first that this is your idea, and then include it in your proposal that how your idea is going to work out. And yeah, we can talk about that a little bit later, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so basically, we covered the two aspects, which is organizations choosing a project
Yep.
and being in the community. Now comes a very important part, which is the proposal section. So,
Right.
what is a proposal?
What is a proposal, right? Just like I said that we have, when the organization list comes out, we are given, the organization gives idea list or the project list they want you new contributors to contribute to, right? So if you want to contribute to a project, you have a mindset, or you have a, what should I say, plan in your mind to, what you will do in that project, or what you want to accomplish in that project, the exact goals, how you will perform a certain task in that project. Do you know the tech stack in that project, right? Will you be learning while you are doing the project or something like that? And your previous experiences, all this sums up your proposal, right? A proposal is basically your way of saying that I'll be accomplishing this project that you have given, and in this way, I have this much technical capabilities. I have these skills. Now it's up to you to decide that if I am suitable as a candidate. for the project, right? So in a nutshell, it's just that your planning, your thinking, your ideas on how you are going to accomplish that project, plus what your key skills are. You have to sell yourself in the proposal that you have. If you have worked in a startup, put that in your why me section of the proposal, right? That you have worked in this startup, you have worked in this tech stack, you know this tech stack very well. You have done some projects on this tech stack. Put those in the. This shows that you know that tech stack and you'll be able to work using those tech stack, right? So that is a summary of the proposal, I would say. I can share you my just to give you a brief of it. But yeah, moving on, moving on.
That will be great. Um, so you said that there was one section that you said was what you're trying to achieve, like the roadmap basically during the GSoC timeline, as well as
Yep,
something like why me. So is there any
yep,
kind of like a
fine.
template for every organization, or that it's totally up to you?
Yeah, that's a nice question. Rocket Chat did not have any kind of template. I just pretty much came up with my own. I actually looked through other organizations what their templates were, and I came up with a mix of everything. I would say I'll show you in a bit just right now. I came up with a mix. As some organization do have a particular template, and some don't. It again depends on the organization what the template they are allowing you to. Some organization require you to have a, what should I say, a previous pull request or previous contribution to their projects. Uh, these all vary from organization to organization, and you'll get to know about it. I mean, when you'll explore each organization, you will eventually get to know about what these are. I mean, what the restrictions, what they allow, what they don't, what their community guideline is. Yeah, everything.
Once you draft your proposal, is there a way where you can review that proposal through the mentors or something like that?
Yep, yep. So GSoC pretty much has that stage as well. Before you submit your final proposal, you set it up for a draft, your draft proposal, and the mentor actually reviews it. I actually have on my proposal. I think I have the mentor's comments as well. I'm not sure if I should show. I mean, it won't be a problem, I guess. Yeah, I'll show that to you as well. Like the mentor actually helped me out to figure out what changes I should make, what I should include or not include. To, I mean, he expressed that this point should could be elaborated a little bit more. He also that the diagram how you are going to what's the mental picture of your.
Hey Rahul.
Hi, sorry, I got disconnected.
Yeah, you did.
Where was I? Where was I? Sorry, my internet.
You were talking about your proposal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I talk. I'll start again. Again.
Yeah, yeah. Better to just
So
yeah.
Uh, so what basically is that before you submit the final proposal, you have a draft proposal phase as well, where the mentors actually give review. My mentor actually gave me review about like I could draw up what should I say, diagram for the mental picture of what I'm going to accomplish. And he also just suggested that I should include these sections and some intro about it. So you do have a proposal, uh, draft proposal phase where the mentor reviews out your proposal and you can fix it up. Yeah.
So yeah. So by this, we have pretty much covered the three important things. That is finding an organization, joining a community, and
Yep.
proposal making.
Right.
Now, how would you? What advices would you give to a beginner who wants to get who has like a very absolute zero knowledge about open source and obviously no previous experience with GSoC? What advice would you give them to get started and maybe get into GSoC?
Right. Right. Let's see. First of all, you okay, it's okay, it's lightning outside, but yeah, first of all, you can actually what should I say? Majority of the projects that you will find are web based, I think. So if you learn Python or JavaScript or HTML, CSS, I mean Python, JavaScript. So you will find a plenty of projects on those, and you can actually start contributing to some smaller open source projects that are available online, and then you can make your way to bigger organization and bigger projects. And that way you have to be consistent in a way to actually keep contributing and keep learning in public as well. I mean, you gotta keep contributing and keep learning. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's not a very specific advice that I can give you that you will be able to get into GSoC or be a GSoC student. But yeah, just try to take baby steps. I mean, just start with a smaller organization, try to contribute in their projects, then jump up to a bigger organization, and then try to learn their tech stack and then contribute to them. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
do
Go
your
ahead.
research. Yeah, please do your research before you ask a question, before you jump into anything, any conclusions, anything. Just do your research. Yeah.
I just want to like add on to the point of when he says do your research. Let's say you're facing a particular bug or error. Check if someone already has faced that error and a mentor has already replied to that. So
Yeah.
just look for that, the Slack history, search in the Slack or the IRC that you are in, or go through the existing issues of the project.
Right, right.
And and since we're talking about open source, I think Git also plays a very big important role, right?
Right,
So
right. Yeah. We do have a Git session as well on this. You need to learn Git. You have to learn Git if you want to contribute to open source. I mean, so learn Git before doing anything. I mean, yeah, Git's pretty easy. You'll be able to pick it up in 2 3 hours. I mean, we have a session on YouTube. Go check it out. Yeah.
okay, so just to summarize, learn Git because most of the, I mean, not most, like almost every open
Yeah.
source project will use a version control system like Git, and get to know about the tech stack which the organization is and see if that matches with your skill set. If it does, go ahead, join the community, and start looking at the projects and their own, the ideal list and everything, and start contributing to them.
Yep. Yep.
So
That's
on that note, I was sharing with this link that gsocorganizations.dev. Uh, can you just Rahul, can you just share your screen and go just take us through that
yep.
website and
I'll just give me a minute. Okay, okay, wait. Jeez.
I shared the link. It's at the end.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Just give me a minute. Okay, this. Did they create this new project or what?
No, no, it's by some other developer.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I thought.
They did change the interface this time of Google Summer of Code, but this is different.
Is my screen visible? I mean, is
Yeah, yeah,
this?
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is pretty cool. I did not have this. I did not know about this, but yeah. So here you can see. Okay, that's nice. You can see that JavaScript is there, Python is there. So whatever language that you are comfortable in, whatever topics that you are comfortable, web, machine learning, graphics. I mean, so you can just search over here like JavaScript, and that's. I do pretty much JavaScript, so you can see a lot of. Let me find Rocket.Chat. I mean, I'll search it. So yeah. So if we go to okay, it did open up here. Right. So it says that it has been there for the past 5 years, and its basic technologies are, you can see over here that these are the technologies they use. So you can assume that, yeah, I forgot to mention one thing, that you can also check how frequent the organization have been participating in Google Summer of Code. That way you can predict that if they will be participating this year or not, right? So Rocket.Chat would probably be participating this year as well. And you can see that they have JavaScript, React Native, Ruby, Kubernetes, React, and everything. So next thing what we will do is, they have contact, they have IRC channel. If you go to their IRC channel, see, it takes you to their open server, that is Open Rocket. I have not signed in on this browser, but you will have to sign in and you'll go to the IRC channel, right? So this is one example. Every organization is different. Every organization has their own IRC channels, and we don't have idea list here. I don't think so.
You can go to the respective year and get the idea list for every year.
Oh, okay. Let's see. 2021. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. View 2021 idea list. That, so yeah. So you can. This is a blog by the Rocket Chat team only. Uh, so yeah. So you can see that they have given a lot of project ideas. They picked out. There were a lot of. I picked out this voice channel, of course. They had decentralized storage integration and everything. This year also they'll probably be doing something like this only. So if you want to contribute to Rocket Chat, then I think you know where to look out, where to see. Yeah. And so I think they also have in the they don't. Okay. I was thinking that they might also have yeah, send your own idea kind of situation here as well. But I can see they don't have. But yeah, cool. You can see in each organization if they have that or not. If you want to send your own creative your own idea. So yeah, I
Yeah,
mean yeah.
it varies from
So
organization to organization. Some
right,
use
right, right.
Slack in their as their you know communication channel, and even have the idea list in Slack. So there is just one channel specific for GSoC 2022 idea list, and have all the ideas over
Hmm.
there. Some has that in their GitHub wiki section, and so wherever it is, it's pretty much mentioned where it's there, so you will
Yeah,
get it
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
easily. Or you
Uh,
can just join the
so let me
communication channel and
also,
ask the question. Yeah,
yep.
Rahul, go ahead.
Let me also show you this year's timeline. This year's, I mean, you guys should Google it out and you can see it. I think internet connection will go out because it's raining outside, but we'll wrap it up fast. So it has the organization period where organization actually submit their proposals to Google, and Google then selects which organization they would like to go on with. Then the organization will be announced. Then you will get to know about which organization are participating this year and what projects they are trying to make. Then there is this contributor application period. Uh, GSoC contributors can register and submit their proposal. Right. This will be the proposal submission period. That is, in this period only, you will have your draft review phase also. So once you submit your proposal, the mentor you can the mentor will actually review your draft beforehand. Uh, so it's already there in the GSoC portal when you will log in. When this year's portal is made, when you log in, you will find it out. You can see that. Then there is proposal review period. This is the time when you have given all your proposal, given everything, and you just wait for the results to be announced. And then the contributors are announced who are participating. Then there is for first 3 week, I guess, yeah, community bonding period. but you can actually start before in this period. They It's mainly for you to interact with the mentors and everything. But if you're already doing it, you can start coding from this period only. I believe I started. I was having my exams, so I started a little bit late. That you can discuss with your mentors, and they'll probably. I mean, you can fix your time, right? And coding period. Then we have evaluation. I think we have mentors submit evaluation of one another. Yeah, this is the first evaluation that they're talking about, and this is the final evaluation. With the final evaluation, mentors also again submit their final evaluation, and in the end, the results are announced. Yeah. So this is pretty much the timeline that will be followed throughout GSoC. Yep.
And do you have your proposal with
Yep,
you?
yep, yep.
So
I'll
let's just
also
go through that
show you
once.
my proposal. Right. So, okay. So this is basically is my should I
Just zoom in a bit. Yeah,
right.
I guess this will
So
work.
you
Yeah.
can see that I just they did not have any kind of what should I say template for this. I just created one out. I saw my seniors proposal what they were building up, and uh, I actually tried to take something from them, and I mix match and everything. And yeah. So in the first, I actually gave out my personal details. You, you should try to give out your time zone because that helps. Which college, what projects I have been, my availability during GSoC periods. That's mainly how if I have any other work commitments to that. I gave out a project abstract, just a simple one-liner about the project. Figured out what the major tasks would be. Then I explained why these are the major tasks and why I'll be using this. I mean, this is just going too much into the proposal. You wouldn't need it. So you can see that I have diagrams and everything. So you should also try to give diagrams because as developers, we like diagrams more, right? So yeah. And this is all the explanation for what I have been, uh, what my idea is. And then I have given the timeline, that is the pre-GSoC timeline, the community bonding phase, and I have distributed my weeks accordingly, what I will be achieving. I did follow up. I did follow the whole week, and I did complete it earlier, I guess. The last week I was just fixing bugs and talking with my mentor. Yeah. So and now I also gave out a section to write why Rocket.Chat and why this project. I just gave out some pointers on that, and then I had a interesting section on why me, and a little bit extra to go on with. Yeah. So then that's pretty much it. I think. How do I show comments? Oh yeah. So these are the comments that. So he was actually having. We were having conversation on this only, that uh, what type of suggestion he gave. So yeah,
Great.
so that's
Mm,
pretty much it. I'll stop sharing my screen.
I think this is going to help a lot of people who had blurry idea about what a proposal should be. And
I hope so. Yeah.
yeah, and with that, we're pretty much wrapped up. Just one thing, like 2022, Google has made some changes in
Oh yeah, yeah.
GSoC, so you can read
So
it
you'll be
over here.
having a lot more competition than usual because right now it's anyone above 18, I believe,
Hmm.
can participate in Google Summer of Code and uh, so yeah, and they also have long projects and short projects. That's I guess a 22-week project and a 12-week project.
Yeah, yeah,
So you can look out for that if you want to work for a longer time. So that's up to you, totally up to you.
yeah. So like three major changes. First is that initially the application was only restricted to university undergraduates. but now they've opened up to everyone, 18 years and above. Second thing is there are multiple large size projects that are coming up, like not just something which may not be solved in like 2 weeks. 12 weeks, uh,
Yeah.
and might require more time. And obviously there is an extension in the time period as well. So you'll be given a choice whether you want to complete it in 12 weeks or you want to continue till 22 weeks. So these are the major changes in Google Summer of Code. With that, we will move on to the Q&A section. There are some questions.
Okay.
You can take them,
Should
Rahul.
we just go on with the Google form first?
Sure, let's go with
Or
the Google form and then with the Q&A over here. Yeah.
yeah. So okay, I'll just should I share my screen as well? Okay.
That you can just take up his question
Okay.
and answer. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll just. I have a question. How to formulate the proposal? I'll be skipping the
I think
questions
most of the
which I've
questions in the
answered.
form is are covered. I've taken a look at all the
Yeah, yeah,
questions.
yeah.
So let's go to
Fixing
the
exist.
Q&A over here. The people who are present.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll just look through it once.
In the meantime, let me just take a look. So Gaurav is
Yeah.
asking how to join such a community. Gaurav, it's going to be mentioned in the organization list when you visit. Uh, it's going to be present that this is the IRC channel. It can be Slack. It can be an IRC server. You can just Google how to join an IRC server. You need to download an IRC client like Hexedit and WeChat. There are many more. Or you can use, I think, something. Rocket.Chat also has an IRC client. So yeah, something like
Hmm.
that. You
Yeah.
can Google and get an idea. I hope that answers your question. So Shripon has a question. How many programming language should we be armed with, or is it specific to the projects that you're assigned to?
How how many programming language should we be armed with?
Rahul, you there? Okay. I assume either his internet is not working or mine. Um, okay, mine is working. Hey, Rahul, you back?
I'm back here. My internet is it's raining here. Okay.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. Okay, I will just take up the question. So, Shripana, yeah, the language depends on the project, obviously, because it's a project you're going to work on. Hence, whatever language the project requires, you will have to know that. In case of Rahul, I think he worked on React Native because Rocket.Chat uses React Native. So yeah, so you can just the link that I shared, the GSoC organizations.dev, you can head over there. Uh, there it will show you all the languages that are used in all the projects, but that's not necessarily that you don't have to know all of them. Just know the ones that are required for that specific project. I hope that answers your question. If you had anything else, just put in the chat. Um, Also, just give me. I'm still audible, right? Because I have no idea whether it's my internet because it's raining here also. So
Am I
hey,
audible?
Rahul.
I'm audible.
Now you are. Yeah, you can just close your camera if you want. Yeah,
I turn off my video because
sure.
okay.
So uh,
Raksha is
um,
asking the
yeah. So
question.
so what was the language that you used for your project, by the way? Which framework?
I use JavaScript actually. Just plain simple
Oh,
JavaScript.
I thought okay.
Yep. I was working with the web, right? The web platform. Their
Mm-hmm.
main project that is there. So they use JavaScript over there.
Okay, got it. So Raksha has a question. Will you take
Just
that up?
yeah. We have a doubt about choosing organization. I'm currently coding with C++. Do I need to have skills like web development or something? Okay, so if you want to actually contribute to projects which involve C++, you will need to deepen your knowledge in that a lot, like by a lot, because the projects are pretty tough, I would say. I mean, I find it pretty tough. So if you can, you know, understand the project that they are building using C++, you are good to go. I mean, you can contribute to that. But in the meantime, if you want something a little bit more easier, I would suggest that, yeah, web development is a way to go. They have other CLI tools as well. That's something that you can take up. And yeah, that's pretty much
So
it. You can learn you can learn accordingly as well. I mean, you can see the project organization, what tech stack they use, and you can learn that tech stack. So there's no hard and fast rule that what you should or should not learn. Just keep on exploring. I think you'll find an organization which uses that tech stack.
yeah, I hope that answers your question, Raksha. In C++, some of the organizations are, I think, libre. Then we have the Boost C++ libraries,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think there was one TensorFlow. I think also uses C++, so you can find that. But yeah, as Rahul said, with C++ being a very uh, kind of like on the lower level language, it's very hard to for a very beginner to contribute in C++. Yeah, but you can always do that. Yeah.
Simit has a question. Did you go through all the source codes? How much time did it take? No, I did not go all through all the code. Do you even know how much code is there on the Rocket.Chat main source? I mean, main repository. I just know the part that I worked on and some of the APIs that I used on there. Some of the functions that I use, some of the APIs that I use. I of course did not go through all of the code. Yeah.
It's not possible to go through the entire code base.
So just we use all of the code. I mean, it's a very big project. So
Exactly. Yeah. Like, it's very hard to find even someone in the organization who knows the entire code base top to bottom. Like, yeah.
right, exactly. So next, nowadays I'm coding with Python, gaining the basic concepts of programming. What I will have to learn, and please provide a roadmap. I'm not really a Python guy. Maybe Arnab can answer this question a little bit.
So yeah, so there are kind of like two kind of projects if you consider Python. One is based on Python frameworks like Django or something like that. Other maybe some machine learning, organizations which uses Python, and the third can be just plain old Python, right? So these
Yeah.
are the three kind of because Python has a lot of applications. You don't like huge applications, to be honest. So if you're a web dev guy, maybe you should learn Django, and you can Django itself is there in one of the organizations, so you can contribute there. And otherwise, just basically you have to choose accordingly. And yeah, and there is no one roadmap for all the organizations. I think it varies again from organization to organization, and we've been saying that for many times in today's session.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
So yeah.
Prince is asking where in which year of college you participated in GSoC. Yeah, it was my second year actually. I mean, after passing second year. Yeah. So it's not mandatory that you need to be in second year or you need to be third or fourth. You can do it in the first year. You can just come in college and just write a proposal. Nobody, I mean, who cares, right? So, I mean, all of you who are present here and trying to prepare for GSoC, right? At least try to make one proposal this year. Aim to make at least one proposal. Even if it's not selected, you will have a little bit of experience on how to search organizations and write a proposal, you can of course come up to me to for any kind of help. Just ping me on Telegram, I guess, or Discord. Ping us on Discord. Everyone is there to help you. So yeah, just write a proposal this year. And okay, I will just stop sharing my video. Yeah, just write it. Yeah, you're good to go.
Yeah, I think it's a very valid point that you pointed it out. Like, even if you go through the process of writing the proposal, you will know, you get yourself acquainted with the organization, and maybe next year you can again participate. And GSoC is all about encouraging you to contribute more to open source. Make it, we all we always have a kind of like a fear, and you initially were intimidated with open source. Is GSoC is all about breaking that fear and make you much more acquainted to open source. So yeah.
Right. Right.
Any more
So,
questions?
any more
We have
questions?
almost covered. It's almost been an hour, so feel free to
I
ask
think we
some
covered
questions.
pretty much everything.
Hmm.
So,
Okay, there was one question by Rajesh. If a beginner requests for assigning an issue, can they assign it to us, Rahul?
I'm sorry, I did not get the question. If
So
can
I
you
think
repeat?
he means like in the GitHub or wherever there are certain issues, and if someone as a beginner asks them to assign this issue to me, will the maintainers actually assign them? I think that's
Oh,
what the
okay.
question is probably.
Now you are asking me what the maintainers think. How can I say that? But on a like every maintainer welcomes newcomers to contribute to their project. So don't worry about it. Just go on the issue and ask them to assign it to you. If they assign it to you, then it's pretty cool. Uh, Take help from the mentor and solve up the issue. But if they don't, I mean, you can't do anything right. It depends. Like, it, it also depends on if the issue is beginner solvable. I mean, if you go on a pretty what should I say, a long issue that being solved by some professionals or experts, right? They won't give that issue to you, right? Because it's being already being solved, and it requires a experience and knowledge. So you have to look for issues as well, which are beginner friendly. Just like I said, look for the beginner friendly, good first issues, tag on issues, and yeah, you'll get assigned to those issues. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like even before applying to GSoC, or even before applying, putting the proposal, do they have to have some kind of contribution to the organization? Is it absolutely necessary?
Okay, so some organization require you to make a contribution beforehand, before proposal. They need you to have a contribution, but some don't. I didn't have any prior such uh, necessity or requirement. So I was lucky, you might say, but yeah, some do and some don't. Uh, Again, it comes down to it depends on the organizations.
Yeah. Also, I think it also depends on the project that you choose. If you choose a very easy project, it might be that a lot of people are applying for that.
Yeah,
Hence, there's a huge that you're creating a good competition. But if you choose on the difficult end, you kind of like guaranteeing that you will be getting. But at the same time, choosing a different, a difficult project or an idea makes it much harder to write a proposal. So yeah, you have to find a sweet
right.
spot.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yep. Yep. So I guess we can end
Um,
the session.
Yeah, we'll just
To
wait for one more minute
Yep.
if there is any more questions, and we can end the session.
Right. Let's see one question popping up. Will
Rahul,
the
can you just share?
organizations?
Can you share your
Anubhav
proposal
is
link as well?
asked, my proposal link. Okay. Okay, I'll put it in the
Yeah, we can
Discord.
just upload it in the YouTube description also. Yeah, the
I'll
recording.
put it there.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Anubhav is asking, will the organization participating increase from last? Mm, not sure. I mean, I don't know about it, but I mean, is there anywhere it's written that the number of organization they are taking is more or something like that? If not, then I'm not sure. Like, uh,
Projects will increase, but organizations not sure. Yeah.
yeah, projects would definitely increase because they are doing projects, right? 22 weeks
Hmm.
was so projects would definitely increase. Not sure about the organization. As the format has changed and it is made for everyone above 18, is there a possibility? Oh, okay. No, that's mm, that more number of contributors would be there, but that does not necessarily mean that organization would be more or something like that. Because it depends on the organization who are participating in GSoC, right? So
Yeah. There might be like, some organization which just had very long projects. Now they might apply for GSoC because of the change in the terms.
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah.
but participation will be more, I believe so, because there are a lot of non-degree holders, I would say, uh, who will be participating. So yeah, self-taught developers are there out there. Okay, so I think uh,
Yeah.
and we can finish the general. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.